Live. We are live. Let's see. Let's wait a couple of seconds. Okay, perfect. Today I'm super excited because we will have one of my favorite Twitter accounts. I know that I say this kind of often, but today is this true. We will talk with Jack Forge. He is a developer, social media consultant, a lot of stuff. He's also a amazing developer, or discreet, or mediocre. I don't know.
It was supposed to be mediocre. You're supposed to say mediocre developer.
I don't know. I couldn't resist, Jack. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I had to say something. I've seen also some promotion that you made with the White Claw, like some you've done. You've done. I love those.
You mean this? Yeah.
Of course,
you're
and
a crack one right now.
Of course, this live stream is sponsored by White Claw. Maybe not officially.
Yeah.
But
Here, I'll give you guys one of these. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, we should be. Yeah, I should be live. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So, perfect. Hi everyone. Hi Samit. I don't know if I pronounced that well. I have always some problems in pronouncing names because we have people from all over the world. I try, so I say sorry in advance. But we have tried to organize this a lot of time ago, Jack. But it's always hard because we are always busy. So
Yes. I am very busy all the time. I still have a day job. Like a lot of people don't realize that, even though I post so much on Twitter, and I still I do the developing thing and everything like that. I still have a day job. I do automation, so it requires a lot of time also.
Hi Ashish, my club. Hi Samuel. Hello guys. This must be interesting to watch. Of course, not for me, but for Jack.
Hi Samuel.
Here we go, Kyle. I was thinking about you. I always have trouble with names, but I make an effort even if I'm wrong. And you know what? Of course. So, please, if you are watching this video, first thing, go in the description, check Jack Forge link, and follow him right now. Then come back because you will never regret this.
Well, some people might. Some people totally will regret it, but most people don't.
Yeah, you can always unfollow it. Follow him. That's great. Okay.
Make sure to block me so I know for a fact you don't like me.
Of course. Or mute. There are a lot of options.
No, don't mute, because then that's my big thing. I don't block anybody because I don't like anyone knowing that I'm upset with them or that I don't like them. So I just mute everybody, and then you still get their engagement. That's the Twitter hack.
Perfect. So if Jack is not answering you, you know what happened basically.
A lot of people don't catch on to that either. You'd be surprised.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Jacking. Yeah, you reminds me of Joaquin Phoenix from Joker. I don't know if this is a compliment or
I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I don't think that's a compliment. I've heard that before. I've gotten that before.
Yeah, in some ways, yes. Yeah, that's also why we have maybe we also have this green background. Maybe this also helped. Yeah. Okay, Jack. So we have been connected on Twitter. I think more than 1 year. I don't know. But I've seen that you have grown lately a lot, more than 30,000 followers. I don't know the exact number, but it's not about that. I love the way you interact on Twitter with people. Maybe you need to get used to that. I've seen people like to replying to you in some super serious ways. Maybe if they don't tell you, they say, "Oh, what happened here?"
Yeah, honestly, my big thing about Twitter is I don't engage with negativity. So if someone, honestly, I think people are catching on now, because if you come into my replies and you're mad at me, I'll probably just mute you. I won't respond to you because it's not my thing. I don't make content for everybody, obviously, and if you don't like it, don't follow me, mute me, block me. It doesn't matter. I don't really care.
Perfect.
The people I'm making content for are the people that like my content, and like I said, I don't alter my content for anybody.
And of course, Yeah,
Like,
and of course, Twitter is not real life. It doesn't mean that you want to kill them if you block them, because people take this sometimes
no,
personally. Sometimes
like
it's not like that. Yeah.
honestly, like there's not a single person on Twitter like I dislike based on who they are.
Mhm.
Like I don't know anybody. Um, the people I engage with on a regular basis, I love everybody. I say we're a big community. The people that don't like me, then they don't like me. Like there's 7 billion people on Earth. Not every single one of those people has to like you, and you don't have
Yeah.
to like every one of those people. So I say, like, if you don't like me on Twitter, then don't follow me, don't engage with me. Because the thing is, like people don't realize it. If you get mad at me and engage with me, like it raises my engagement. It actually helps my account. Anytime that happens, I end up getting like a huge surge of followers. So
Yeah.
it's honestly better just to ignore me and let me just keep doing my thing.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, Jack. So a little bit about you, because we've talked just 5 minutes before doing this, so we are winging this kind of lot. Sorry for that, but this could be
Yeah.
great. Yeah, this could be great because you have already told me some interesting things. Because I'm also, honestly also looking for some social media consultant, maybe in some ways. So this could also be interesting. So can we start from the beginning, from when were you born? No, I'm joking. So something a little bit later, maybe a little bit later. Yeah, when you get into tech, basically, or maybe yeah, you can
Yeah.
start from
So
wherever you want.
basically I uh went to school. I took marketing. I took business. I've worked in sales. I've worked in marketing.
Nice.
I've done trades work, electrician, automate. I do automation right now. Um, I did, what else have I done? There's been places I've worked at that I actually don't even remember. Like I worked for Dell, which I honestly, I can hardly remember working there. And I worked for Intuit years
Yeah.
ago, and I don't hardly remember that. But um, lately, like I moved into development over probably just over a year ago,
Mm.
just for something to do. Um, there's a guy on Twitter that I've known for years because I actually used to do Twitch streaming, and his name's Christopher Bowman, and I think he goes by Grouchy Tech Guy. He's grouchy. He's a grouchy guy. He's a great guy, but he's grouchy. Um, it's funny because when we were Twitch streamers, I remember seeing his posts on Twitter, and he was saying like, I was homeless and I took this course at treehouse.com, and it got me out of, like, he was living in a van. It got him out of basically being homeless. And I'm like, how can someone learn how to code? Like what? Like I didn't know this. Like I grew up when if you didn't have like a CS degree, you weren't getting a job as a developer. So
Mm.
um, I looked into this treehouse that he recommended, and I actually worked on Team Treehouse. That's how I initially started. It was Free Code Camp and Team Treehouse. And it's funny because I was working through Team Treehouse, and I didn't realize a lot of the courses were a little outdated. So I'm learning floats, and I'm learning all of these like stuff, all the stuff that's not used anymore.
Nice.
And then I worked through the course, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, I built a full site with floats. Like that's very, I worked far enough and I built a whole site with floats. So I was like, okay, now I got in a free code camp, and then I started using Udemy and found Tech Twitter, and then
There we go.
now ever since then, yeah, free code camp. I recommend it to everybody. It is the best resource. And ever since then, like I've just I do my own thing now. I kind of build what I need now, which I always recommend to people. If you can think of an app, just find what you need to build it and just learn all those things instead of learning everything that you might not need. Because I've learned a lot of stuff I don't need, and I've wasted a lot of time because of it.
Yeah, yeah, I love this approach. Sometimes I say like you first learn, I don't know, like Russian. Then when you know a lot of Russian, you go to Russia. It's not like that. Usually
Yeah.
you learn something to travel, to do something else, but
Yes.
you don't keep learning for a moment because you don't have practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'll be honest, I hate learning. I honestly I hate learning new tech. I like being able to build things, but just learning the stuff
They
just
keep changing. They keep changing.
yeah. Yeah, it always changes, and there's always something new. So I've gotten to the point where I'm like, this is all I'm learning from now on, and then I have to learn something else after.
Yeah. We have some super serious questions. What kind of air conditioner does Jack use? Okay, this is, I think we have this kind of questions.
I've gotten this question on Twitter before, and I actually don't wash my hair, which might sound gross, but I don't wash my hair. I use water and that's it. Because it needs to be a little bit greasy. You got to get this nice shine to it. Look at that. Look at that beautiful shine. I don't want to put chemicals in there.
Yeah. I think we need a separated episode to talk about Jack's hair. So I think we will make Jack hairs here, and you will talk for 2 hours about that.
That's going to be my OnlyFans account. Just pictures of my hair.
Yeah, there we go. We go with Bealte. I don't know if you have trusted something like that, but okay. So Jack, what are you currently working on now, and also what you do? You have talked about to me something about OnlyFans. You could say about this more in details, because I'm super interested into that. Because I always say that we are not there are not really like the stereotypes developers, but you do a lot of stuff. So I'd really like to understand exactly what you do with OnlyFans, Instagram, and other socials. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So it's funny because when I first got into it, I'm like, I'm going to build websites. But then I found that I was getting contacted by people who wanted more of a social media presence, which like it makes sense, because a lot of people, like with social and stuff like that, like a lot of people don't even have websites right now, which honestly is a flaw. Everyone should have a website. If you're a social media creator in any way, like a Twitch streamer, YouTube creator, I think you should have a website. But you want to bring everything together. And so I get contacted by, it's funny because I started doing the OnlyFans stuff, and it ends up being more of it's turned into more of a consulting position more than anything else. So it's more like a branding consultation business.
Can you explain in 1 minute what OnlyFans is maybe for people that don't know this?
Just Google it, but not at work. Don't do it on your work computer.
I want to hear that from you, because I don't want them to go on Google now. I want to say
it's funny because OnlyFans was originally created as kind of like a platform for social media creators and stuff like that to kind of to work as like a Patreon model. It's more used for adult content now. A lot of creators put out adult content, and it's good because there's free tiers that you can use as kind of like to get people into your paid tier, and then you can pay monthly and you can pay per item and stuff like that. Like it's a really good platform. It's a very good platform, and the nice thing about it is kind of the safety element of it. Like a lot of adult creators have full control over what they're doing, which is kind of the nicest thing about it. Like it's basically used for adult content more than anything else.
So what's your role with OnlyFans? You help people. What do you do? How do you help them? This is what you do, I think.
Well,
this is what I get.
Yeah, right now it's used for branding. So basically, if you search OnlyFans on Twitter, which don't do on your work computer, you'll see a lot of the creators. It's the content streams for kind of like mid-level creators on OnlyFans. The content streams are always bad. It's a lot of retweeting, kind of like there's not a lot of branding involved. So what I do is you contact the user, you go over, make logos, colors, talk about doing websites, getting a website out there. I'm currently working on an app that will kind of work as a way to bring everything together. There's an issue with Instagram right now where anything linked to OnlyFans can result in a ban. Like even if you have an OnlyFans link in your profile, there's a good chance Instagram will ban you, which is wild.
Yeah, just because I know that it's not all adult content. Maybe a lot, maybe I don't know, 99%, but it's not all. It's not like you need to do adult content to be on OnlyFans. I don't think.
Right. No.
People use this in this way, like people use
Yeah.
Twitter to make threads, but on them there. Also, we have a question. I don't know if you can. Yeah, we can talk about this while we talk about this. How do you get caught up in OnlyFans business?
How did I get caught up in it? How did I get caught up in it? I'm trying to think. Honestly, it was a niche that I found no one else was doing. It's honestly, that's one of the things. I was working for an agency. I was actually working for Nat Militech earlier this year. And if everyone should follow Nat Militech. He actually is low key one of the like most successful people at running an agency on Twitter.
Yeah,
and I worked for him earlier this year.
Yeah, I mean, I love this idea of doing something that other people they don't want to do. So you have like less competition. So we can talk about this because this is getting really interesting. Yeah, the title is "Content Without Compromise," something like that. Yeah. So have you make this decision because of this? So because not everybody was doing this, like. Maybe a lot of people are doing, I don't know, like JavaScript tips. You are doing something different also on Twitter, I think.
Oh, yeah, content for like Twitter and stuff like that. Yeah, like that's something I just fell into because I'm not a very serious person, and like that's the thing. I'm not a great developer. Like I obviously you probably get messaged every day of people wanting to like, hey, teach me how to code. Like, you don't want me teaching you how to code. Like, I don't even know how to code most of the time.
Yeah. I think that there is a rule that I invented that if you are over 20,000 followers on Twitter, you know everything about development.
Yes, yeah. Like, it's funny because I mostly tell jokes and stuff on Twitter, and it's not really like I know how to code, but I'm honestly not that great at it. So most of the people that message me, I look at their page. I'm like, you know more about code than I do. You know more about programming than I do. You teach me. I'll message them back. I'm like, no, you teach me. Like just because I have a lot of Twitter followers doesn't mean I'm like a great programmer. Which is like the big thing people should kind of know is a lot of people out there that have a lot of Twitter followers. It doesn't necessarily mean you're great at whatever niche you're in.
Yeah. I got people messaging me like, how can I do this in C? I used that maybe in the past during my computer science degree, and that's it. So
yeah.
For assignment.
Exactly.
We have other serious questions. What is this? When is the collab with L'Oreal?
Soon, I hope. I need the money.
I need to grow the hair then, and then you'll pass that to me. And we have people showing their hate, of course.
Oh yeah, I love you too, Andrew.
Yeah, I tried to get the Hyatt Jack Forge sticker directly for the creator itself, raw, but they were out of stock. So they were all sold. I think and now they don't know, like millions of dollars each one.
No, Rose has some more coming. I know she does. Her stuff's great too. I got a bunch of stickers from her.
Yeah. Okay. So there was serious questions about this big project coming soon. So is this application or something else you can talk about?
Yeah. So I'm actually working on a project right now, and I'm consulting with some OnlyFans creators, and this goes back to the whole Instagram thing. Instagram banning OnlyFans. Like it's wild. You will get creators on Instagram that, like OnlyFans creators that have like 50,000 followers on Instagram, and their account will get banned because they're linked to OnlyFans in some way. So what I'm doing basically right now, and honestly, it's like a personal project more than anything else, and I'm learning as I go, but it's kind of building an app that has a gallery on it, and basically users and creators can upload their pictures, and they can it offers links to all their other social media sites, and right now it's only being kind of aimed towards OnlyFans creators, but I'd like to open it up to Twitch streamers would be the next thing. What it does is basically it tells you what social media site you're linked to, that you consider your main more than anything else, and your page focuses on that, but you also have a separate links page that goes to everything else. The big thing about it for OnlyFans that I want to do is like verification, offering, because there's actually a lot of fake OnlyFans accounts that steal content from other creators and will advertise it. People will subscribe and they'll be like, wait a minute, this isn't even the person. Like it'll just be pictures that they stole uploaded. So what I'd like to do is offer kind of a verification system that if a visitor visits a site, it'll say they're verified, so they'll know all the links on that page are provided by the actual creator themselves. So it's a work in progress. I've been having a lot of fun with it though.
Perfect. And after 20 minutes, I just realized that I was using the wrong microphone. Sorry for that.
You still sounded beautiful.
Yeah, now it should sound better. I don't know. Hi, Eleftheria. Kyle, I think Kyle is asking, so how is Twitch? So how is Twitch these days, if you know something about this?
What was this here?
I don't know. How is probably? Or do we have something this? Or do we have this? Let's try this.
Okay.
How do you stay authentic in the Twitter space? I'm amazed by how you build your following. How do you stay authentic?
Definitely. How do I stay authentic? I don't care what anyone thinks of me. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. The second you start changing what you're posting based on what other people, like if people message you, they're mad at what you post. The second you start posting about that, you're not yourself. There's people out there on Twitter that, like, honestly, that are 100% fake. They'll post things all the time saying the thing, saying this. But eventually your real personality is going to come out. And you're better off starting from the start, just be who you are.
I usually say, like, it's hard to fake 24/7, and it's also it's time consuming. I don't know, it can consume you because you need to remember everything you say, the character. I tried to be a little bit more engaged, a bit more funny, but now I'm totally authentic, 100%. I sleep like a baby, so.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you're authentic, like people will see that. People see that you're authentic. It's funny because I get people that get mad at me sometimes about what I post, and other people will quote tweet me and say this, like, oh, this person, whatever, I hate this guy. And then I get people, it's funny because they'll quote tweet me, and then I'll get people that'll come from that quote tweet and be like, hey, I like your stuff. I wouldn't have found you if this person didn't quote tweet you. So like you seem like a lot of people will message me and be like, you seem like you're legit. It seems like you don't care what anyone says, what anyone thinks of you, and you just say what you want. And honestly, you have to, because at the end of the day, it's your Twitter account. Don't let anyone else dictate what you post or how you post or the tone you use. Just post what you want. Yeah. And people respect that, I think.
Yeah. And for example, I've interviewed a lot of people, let's say, that I've noticed that people can reach success in very different ways. Some of them are really super scheduled. They do scheduled tweets, threads. Some of them they never make jokes because they think that this could hurt their accounts. Some people just make jokes. So we have different approach, but I think that the best is do exactly how you are, and of course we are not always the same all lifelong. Also on social media, we can even change in the future. For example, when I was in lockdown, I've been like in lockdown for 2 months. I started creating a lot of memes because I needed that. I need to laugh more. So in that period, I posted what I really felt. I didn't even care about that could hurt or not my account, because this is also what I needed in the past. So let's see if we have some. We have too many questions. I've lost some of them. For authentication verification process you'd like to implement, are you open to integrating blockchain technology?
It's funny because I've actually discussed this with people. Right now we're not, but that's something definitely. It's funny because I'm kind of more constrained by what I know. So it's funny because I made a post yesterday. I said, now that I know how to use Firebase, I'm considering myself a full stack developer. And it's funny because I use what I know how to use.
I think I replied, but I can't remember my reply. Something like that. I can't remember. This was something funny, maybe. I don't know.
So as I go, I just kind of like I learn what I need. So everyone was saying to check out Supabase. So I might check that out because I looked it up yesterday because I was going to use Firebase, and people recommended Supabase, and I'm like, hey, this looks good too. Maybe I'll look into this, and that's how I end up kind of learning things. And if blockchain ends up being a thing we want to try, definitely I'll do it. I know there's a lot of stuff coming in blockchain that I think is going to change a lot of things, and I don't know anything about it, but one day I'll know.
I studied that in the university, but I've never applied that in a specific situation. So I'm connected with some people on Twitter who are maybe better than me, and so in the future probably I'll do something with them. Tech Twitter meets YouTube. Does Jack have a go-to tech stack CMS? Any tips on approaching clients? So are you currently freelancing or employed?
Right now I'm trying not to do a lot of freelance work just because I have my full-time job too. So I'm kind of working on this app. Doing the consulting, doing like social media consulting is pretty easy. I can do that. It doesn't take up a ton of time. For my tech stack, I use Vue now. So basically just HTML, CSS, Vue, JavaScript. For client stuff, honestly, I use WordPress. It's people know it, and it's easy to use. Like it's just easy to use, and you can knock out a site in like a day on WordPress.
Yeah, your tech stack is White Claw and WordPress.
White Claw and WordPress, WW. I do prefer doing hand coding stuff. Like I prefer using Vue, doing everything by hand. But when it comes to some clients, when I was doing some stuff for Nat, it was almost all WordPress stuff, and it's amazing some of the stuff, like especially with like WooCommerce with their e-commerce setup. It's very easy to implement. That I can't even imagine doing that all separately and how long it would actually take. Like you'd have to charge like 20 grand for every website, 30 grand for every website to implement an e-commerce build to everyone's page.
Perfect. They love you, of course.
I love you guys too.
Petros from Aras, great to see both live. Perfect. Kind of saying send them my way, but I don't know if what's referred to. Probably some OnlyFans account.
Yeah, I think he asked how I get clients. It's funny because right now with my niche, it's easy. That was also something that kind of like drove me to my niche, is that if you focus on a niche where the people are very online all the time, like it's very simple to contact them, like Twitch streamers, OnlyFans creators, like even musicians like through SoundCloud and stuff like that. Nice. You will get responses from almost everybody. Whereas if you're cold emailing some scrap metal site, in your town, there's a good chance they're going to be like, oh, this is spam. Someone's trying to steal my identity, and they won't even get back to you. So like, if you focus on something that's very online, like you can reach out and you'll get a response from people.
I like this thing. Maybe I never thought about this. If you collaborate with people that are always online, like developers or something like that.
Yeah.
But
and
it's good.
It's amazing. Like it's amazing how many people are actually online these days. Like there's a lot of like even people that are into marketing that don't code. They can use websites. Like we talk to them almost every day. Like we interact with them on Twitter almost every day. There's people that don't have websites that could use websites, and you can set something up with them.
Okay, perfect. Let's see something else. Have a crate of White Claw on standby. Are you expecting that can to get you through this interview? Let's remember that it's 8 a.m. at his side.
I'm still drinking. I'm still drinking at 8 a.m.
He sleeps on a pallet of White Claw cans. Seen it. Okay, let's see. We have some serious questions above all the other comments. I love this style. We have some super serious questions and that's super funny. So, experience a lot of failure or moments of depressions on your journey. This is a serious question.
This is a very serious question. I kind of differ here from a lot of people in that I don't really get that stressed out ever. And honestly, there's probably something wrong with me in that way. Like I don't really experience a lot of depression or anything when it comes to that. And it's a very serious thing too. And if I do, I might not even realize it. Burnout, definitely. You definitely get burnout. What I do is I'll take a week off from development, from coding every few months, just a week, not doing anything. When it comes to Twitter, I don't really take time off. I actually find Twitter to be more of like a stress relief more than anything else. All my friends are on Twitter now. I have my real life friends, and then I also have all my Twitter friends now. And without the people on Twitter, honestly, without the people on Twitter, this whole last year I probably would have experienced depression, because a lot of people helped me get through this past year by just interacting with me, chatting with me. Like you DM each other, you chat, and it goes a long way. And that's kind of the big thing on Twitter. And I always like suggest to people, like, comment on other people's stuff, reach out, chat with them, get to know people. Because when I first started Twitter, I was just posting my own stuff. I just post my own stuff and I wouldn't reply to anybody's content. Then I started replying to people's content, and it's funny because Sarah Shook Codes, she was one of the first people I actually really connected with on Twitter, and we just started chatting. Like we both have kids. We started chatting, and then ever since then, I kind of got more used to like kind of having those one-on-one conversations with people, and it's not necessarily about Twitter growth with interacting with people. It's more about like self-growth. If you can find a community, like it doesn't matter how many Twitter followers you have. If you can find a community of people that you enjoy chatting with, say you're on Discord, you know these people from Twitter, but you have a Discord channel, you have a Slack channel. If you can make genuine connections with people, really that's what matters. And it professionally, it helps a lot too, because you will, like, if you're chatting with developers all the time, there's going to be opportunities that come up too. So it's a nice connected relationship to everybody. And that's also why I don't engage with negativity online, because honestly, I'd rather engage with people that make me feel positive and that are positive. And I don't don't engage with the negativity, because if you surround yourself with people that are negative, you're going to feel negative.
Yeah, that's a basic rule. And also, one of the reasons why this interview series exists, it's because I want to make strong connections with people. So as I was saying before, after you have been on my channel, I consider you even more as a friend. Of course, we are friends on Twitter, but after you talk with someone, looking in our eyes is different. I felt that before, and I'm sure that this also will happen with you. So this is one of the reasons why I do this every week now. Before it was every day.
Yeah, I loved when you were doing it every day. Like, I can't imagine the amount of work that was, but that was cool. That was very cool. And it's funny because I think you might have asked me to be on back then. I was pretty busy back then too, but
it's your fault. It's your fault, man.
Yeah, it's always my fault. I'm actually trying to make more time now. Like, I'm going through the list of everyone that asked me to be on their podcast and stuff, and I'm slowly going through it. So trying to make time for everybody now.
We are fixing this now in real time. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. I have a lot of other questions. Way more than we can read, I think. Let's try. Are you open to brand sponsorship with startups? You have amazing engagement rate. Then a gorilla. I don't know why.
I always am, but it has to be like a product that I like. I get contacted almost every week for kind of like cross promotional stuff, and it's a slippery slope. It's a very slippery slope, because when you start taking cash for stuff, and if you don't necessarily support the product, your followers and your community will see that. You have to be 100% kind of like transparent. I'm always open to things though. Like, White Claw hasn't sponsored me, by the way, but they've sent me lots of stuff. Like, look at this. They sent me this JBL speaker not that long ago. Very cool. And but yeah, I don't take any money from White Claw or McDonald's. McDonald's sent me some stuff not that long ago, which is kind of cool. But honestly, if McDonald's or White Claw want to send me money, I support their products 100%. I will take their money.
Yeah. I think we need more food sponsors in our lives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Starbucks, McDonald's, and White Claw. They need to contact me ASAP.
Yeah. Perfect. Des Spells is asking for some Twitter growth tips from Jack. So, do you have some Twitter growth tips?
Yeah, I have.
Please.
I have a few, actually. Number one, and this is the one everyone almost fails at. I used to fail at it too. Is staying on niche. Stay on your niche. If it's hard to say it, because if you don't care about Twitter growth, just post whatever you want. Just post whatever you want. It doesn't matter. If you do care about growing your account, post on niche all the time. You will always, it's weird. This is how I always explain it to people. And I explain it to some of the people I'm consulting. So Twitter, I like to think of it as Twitter's like a bunch of buckets. There's a bunch of buckets of things sitting somewhere. So say you're posting about web development. You put one more thing in that, you put something in that bucket. Say you post about sports. Now you put something in that bucket. And the Twitter algorithm they don't know you. There's not someone looking at what you're posting. So what you want to do is put as many things in as you can into one bucket. So Twitter recognizes, like, okay, well, this person knows it's web development. They post, every one of their posts is about web development. Their bucket's full of web development tips and anything linked to web development. All they're going to see is that, oh, this person mentioned JavaScript in their post. This person mentioned CSS, and they're gonna start thinking of you as like a noted name on web development. So they're going to start recommending you to people. Staying on niche is one of the best things, because if you post about everything, if you post randomly about everything, Twitter has no clue what bucket you belong in. They're just going to put you in 100 different buckets, and they won't recommend you to anybody. Another big thing is comment on, if anyone responds to your post when you're starting, if anybody responds, comment on that post, like that post, engage with that person. I'm not a person, I don't know about algorithms or anything, but I'm positive they must track how you engage with the people who engage with your posts. So engage with people, engage in like comments of like big accounts. That's the big thing. Everyone always says big accounts. Engage in the comments, because I met a lot of people like posting in the comments of other people's posts, like Danny Thompson. Danny Thompson's like, he attracts positivity. The people that don't like Danny, those just have to be negative people, because Danny is one of the most positive people I've ever like met in my life.
Yeah.
If you engage with the people that comment on his post, you're gonna meet good people. You follow those people, and like you kind of make friends with those people, and it's kind of everyone goes up at once. Everyone kind of their growth goes up at once if you engage with each other. And yeah, that's all I can really say. Be authentic, and don't engage. Okay, this is the hardest one. This is the hardest one for a lot of people too. Is I say don't engage with negativity. You will not get anything positive out of engaging and arguing with people on the internet. It's a waste of time. Mute, block those people, move on. Don't waste your time.
I try. Yeah, every time I'm almost there to commenting on someone, I close Twitter and I go for a walk or for a run, and it's 10 times better. And I can say that also maybe it's not the best way to like arguing with texting. It's super bad, and I'm also super bad at arguing on texting, also with my girlfriend. So it's so it's very very hard. So maybe if you are here, we could talk. It will never be a problem with me. But in this way, like you say, every word count. It's become a little bit hard. I don't know. So great tips. I agree with all of them. Yeah, what's Twitter? You can Google that, of course. Come on. You're on PC.
Paul's always making those comments.
Yeah, sure. It sounds modern used to make when connect to the internet. Is the sound okay? Is this John Wick wannabe?
as my nephew likes to call me, the dollar store version of John Wick.
Perfect. Okay. A graph. Wet Claw and Jack, iconic duo. Hi, Tando.
Yeah, we are.
Blake, I love this profile picture. Do you welcome OnlyFans to move away from adult content as a way to reach more people?
Yeah, like I've actually been hearing about this. I'm not sure the details on it. I agree with it, I guess, as a business move. What I don't agree with it is kind of like the bait and switch of using adult content to build up kind of brand recognition and moving away from it. Like I'm someone though that like I'm like own your stuff, like own what you are. OnlyFans has become kind of like synonymous with adult content. I think moving away from it is probably honestly, I said it was a good business. I actually think it's probably a bad business move. So I'm not sure what they're kind of expecting to happen with it, because just own what you are. Like if they really want, build like a subset of it, something that's only something else or something else fans. That's kind of the only thing I don't like, is using the adult content and the creators to kind of like drive what the company is, and then switching it to something else, kind of slimy and gross.
Great.
Yeah.
Kyle TechSquid is asking, what features does OnlyFans have that might pull people away from Patreon?
I think it's mostly it's the adult content, because Patreon's good at what it does, which is kind of like strange that OnlyFans wants to move away from it, because they own that niche. Like I'm all about like owning your niche, and with them, like I actually think I actually think they offer less than Patreon in terms of a standard setup for subscriptions for people. I actually think they offer less than Patreon offers. So I'm not really too sure.
Yeah, but I think maybe it's because there are, I think, more people that are as a users on OnlyFans for that kind of content. So this is why they exist.
That's exactly it. Like that's why their move away from adult content and trying to compete with Patreon doesn't make sense, because they're their own thing. You can they're making tons of money on it too.
Yeah, Sean is asking, is OnlyFans do you have tiers or not?
No, it doesn't. What it does have is like the multiple month subscriptions, which honestly, what like OnlyFans does have is that you can purchase separate content in. So like, oh, I want this video. You can pay $20 for a separate video that's not included with the subscription. Which is something they honestly they should do the tiers, because like Twitch has done tiers for years, like subscription levels. Which I would love. Honestly, that's another thing. Coming back to Twitter, like the Twitter Blue thing, like I hope they steal
super followers.
I hope they steal some stuff from Twitch in that regard, because like if you could get subscriptions on Twitter that have like on Twitch you have custom emotes. If you could get like custom emotes for subscribing to somebody on Twitter, I think that'd be so cool. But yeah, like the tiers, there's no tiers in OnlyFans, I believe. It's just like monthly subscriptions. You can get like a year subscription or 3 months. Most are months, so month subscriptions.
Yeah. And now Francis is asking something that I really wanted to ask. Thank you, Francis. What's the rationale behind you randomly promoting smaller Twitter accounts? Is it purely gratuitous on your end? So why do you do this?
Honestly, it's just really fun to watch people's numbers go up more than anything. I love it.
The same for me.
Yeah, like I love watching people get more followers. It also it helps build community. Like there's a lot of people I've given shout outs to that have become like some of my like great friends on Twitter. And a lot of the time it's people I feel that are very positive. They'll interact with me in very positive ways. That's my big thing. If I go to your feed and it's all negativity on your feed or retweets about stuff I don't think people are going to want to necessarily see, or that people that follow me are going to necessarily want to see, I won't promote you. It's just, I kind of stick to promoting people who promote tech stuff, promote positivity, promote community. And I do feel like it's cool to like introduce newer people to people who have been established for a long time on here, because everyone can use a boost when they come on Twitter. The worst feeling on Twitter is posting and not having anyone respond to it. Like I'm somebody, I'll comment on everybody's tweet. Like if I follow someone and they don't have any likes or comments, I always comment on their stuff.
I love this. I also like this approach, and sometimes it's sad maybe to see maybe people with maybe 100 followers, maybe creating maybe a super great article or thread and getting just some 5 likes. So because I know the effort that they put into that, I try to help them as much as I can. Sometimes it's hard to notice them. If you have a lot of notifications, it's even harder.
It's funny. There's a new Twitter hack. I don't know if people know about it. There's actually a new Twitter hack, and it works. That if you post a meme or a video in something, and you can tag people's names in like pictures and stuff. You can tag up to like 9 people. If you tag like 9 big accounts, one of those big accounts will respond to you, and as soon as they respond to you, the engagement rate shoots up. Like that's what I've noticed. This is like a Twitter hack that people have been using for the past month or so, and it works.
They do this with me, so
and honestly, I always respond because I'm like, you know what, good on you. Yeah, like these little loopholes. These little loopholes are what you got to do to get noticed, like amongst all the noise on here. You have to use anything you can to get noticed. And honestly, I'll respond to them and I'll give them the engagement because I think it's a smart move.
But I think, and also in the beginning, in some ways, it's even funnier maybe to stay on Twitter. You can post even more random stuff. You are more free, basically. You're free.
Once you get a little bit bigger, everyone kind of like extra analyzes everything you post. And for someone like myself, that's okay. But for someone who's kind of trying to be more serious and stuff like that, it kind of can lead to you getting into a lot of drama online.
Yeah, I always say that there's no problem in just sharing like dog pictures or memes on Twitter.
Oh,
Also,
yes.
also Elon Musk does this, but probably he is not he doesn't want to grow his Twitter account, something like that.
Yes, well, and that's the thing. That's the thing. And honestly, Twitter, it's not about always like growing your account either. I think honestly, if you want to use Twitter just to post whatever you want, go for it. Because having a big account on Twitter, I'll be honest, is people think it's awesome. It is a lot of work. I probably get 20 notifications like a minute. I can't keep up. And then you get people I get people that get mad at me if I don't respond to when they tag me with something. I didn't see it. I was sleeping. Like it is. It's like probably 2,000 notifications. Yeah, it's like that's a big thing. I tell people if you tag me in something, DM me so I can find it after, because I won't find it.
Yeah, I still have my DM opens. I don't know why, but because sometimes I get some like Francesco, I like your content. I had some one. Yeah, here we go. Francesco Sabed, thank you, Andrew, so much. But sometimes, I'm even losing the comments on my own live. Think about Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn.
Yeah. It's like you're always thinking. That's the only thing. Like for someone like me that and my content that I post, and honestly, almost anybody that posts, you're always thinking about new content. You're always thinking, and that's why I can't even imagine you doing YouTube and stuff like that, where you're doing Twitter, you're doing YouTube. Say you're doing Twitch, you're always thinking of new content, always, and you don't turn your brain off. So if you want a big Twitter account, know what you're getting into. And it's honestly the same with being a developer. Like I honestly think anybody can become a developer and learn to code, but honestly, make sure you want to before you do it, because it is a lot of work. You spend a lot of free time working on this stuff. I think everyone can do it. Every single person can do it. It's kind of lay it out and say, do I want to spend an hour, 2 hours every day learning something new, working on something? Because if you don't get started, because it's it's a lot of work.
Absolutely. Look, you are late, my friend, but welcome anyway. Francis, again. Do you have a bias with certain type of content? Some people absolutely loathe my type of content. Some love it. It's like Jack. Someone love him. Someone hates him.
The only thing I don't like is and honestly, people get mad at me about this all the time. Like people that get mad about everything. It doesn't even matter what it is. Like this week, there's people that were mad because someone, I think it was a hiring manager, said something like someone can come in and know React, but they don't know how to add an event listener in JavaScript. And people are getting mad about it. But honestly, I think I learned how to add an event listener. Someone can, all you want to do, it takes 10 minutes to relearn how to do to add an event listener. But this becomes a big thing online. People getting mad about it. People getting mad about calling it gatekeeping. It's literally one of the first things you learn. It's just people that get mad about everything. At some point, it's just too tiring. There's just too much. And honestly, that's their content. That's fine. I don't follow it anyway, so I don't care. Anyone who kind of just complains all the time on my timeline gets muted. So if you want to post it, if you want to attract that kind of attention, then you go for it. But yeah, I don't interact with it.
Yeah, we have similar approach. Also, this is not why I open Twitter. Probably after a while I would have get bored if I would have started following this type of content. Of course, I know this story, but I try to not interact that much.
I would think it's just bad for your mental state in general. Always logging online and dealing with negative things. I come on Twitter to engage with positive stuff. I don't log online to get mad. It's just not. It's not what I do.
And people think that they always say that I am how can I be super positive all day long? It's not. But when I'm not that positive, I don't open social media because I know how it could end. So this is basically
I've been there before. If I've been in a bad mood and I've come on Twitter and I've kind of lashed out at people sometimes, and you know what? I regret it every time. I get embarrassed with myself if I argue with people online. Like I sit at home later that night and I'm like, man, like I'm a grown man. Like what am I doing arguing with people online? Like it's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, so this is a question and also a compliment. Has Jack always been a creative person, or he cultivated it along the way? So this is a question for you.
I've always been like I used to write. I used to be a creative writer online. I used to work for some celebrity blogs and like video game blogs and websites. I go up and down. Always been fairly good at like funny stuff, I guess, posting funny stuff. You do cultivate it over time though. Honestly, if you go back and look at my Twitter posts from last year at this time, I bet they're horrible. I bet they're horrible. So
let's check all the Twitter account. This will be the hobby of my weekend.
Yeah, I bet they're so lame, like really lame programming jokes and stuff like that. I do think the more you do it, the better you get at it. In terms of development, I've gotten way better for design. I follow some great designers online, and that I honestly think the designers on Twitter don't get enough credit. Their content is so good because you can actually visualize it. You can look at it. You can see the differences in kind of what they're doing. Follow these design accounts. You just become creative by like osmosis by following a lot of like design heavy accounts.
Yeah, for example, this is what I'm doing now on Instagram. Now that I'm using this a little bit more, I'm trying to follow the design. I think that I'll have a kind of big Instagram account designer, 100,000 of followers on this on this show in a couple of weeks. Jerome is his name.
Nice.
Yeah. But I think also, creativity is something that you can learn. Like it's like communication. Yeah. For example, also for me, I'm trying to improve. Now I want to improve in that area or hire someone. I don't know. I'm still thinking about this. Hey, they're asking if you sleep.
Not much. I don't sleep.
If you're a developer, of course. If you're a real developer, you should not sleep, to be honest.
Don't be like me. Going back to Danny Thompson, he got mad at me for this too. I sleep sometimes 4 hours a night, 5 hours a night, usually. That's my regular.
Yeah, Jack, the more we are doing this live stream, the more we look similar. So I always feel you even more as a friend. Yeah. Every answer you give, it's what I said. So it's basically like interviewing myself. Apart the hair, but everything else is almost the same. I agree with you. Yeah, Prada. And they're asking, wow, already 1 hour. That's great. So another 5-10 minutes, but I think we should do maybe an episode 2 because for now this looks really great. Thank you, Jack, of course. Do you have any marketing resources, books you refer back to ever?
I actually don't. I just kind of do my own thing a lot of the time. You kind of just go into like cruise control at some point when it comes to especially marketing yourself, because you know who you are. Marketing other people, it's a lot about design, especially online. If you're marketing other people, design's always going to be a huge thing. Colors, using different color palettes and stuff like that. Honestly, a lot of web development and a lot of like front end development translates to online marketing in a way. Writing copy, there's going to be copy. If you don't know how to write copy yet, like there is resources that'll teach you how to write copy, but sometimes the best way to learn stuff is just by doing it. If you want to learn to write copy, read a lot of copy. Follow people on Twitter that focus on copy, and honestly, follow people. Don't just follow tech Twitter. Follow marketing Twitter people. Marketing Twitter people are on another level when it comes to promoting stuff. And like there's people on Twitter that they might only have like 3,000 followers on Twitter, but they have an Instagram account that has like million followers. Like, there's someone I follow that
they
has
just use
a
Twitter
million
to
followers.
repost. They just use Twitter to repost, but they have huge Instagram or YouTube accounts. So it doesn't.
And
this is the proof that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and those are the people. Just follow them. There's people. A lot of people kind of like get angry about these Twitter threads, but honestly, there is so much good information in these threads. I honestly think Prathcom. I think his posts for tech Twitter are the best posts, 100%. If you're a web developer or learning web development, he posts the best stuff. It's funny though, because there's people that get mad about threads. Like it doesn't affect them.
Yeah,
they're helping people.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that they are jealous. So this is the reason why they ask this, because he's not hurting anyone. I also do threads, maybe not that often. So probably they would love to make some so great threads. So the only thing that you can do is that, okay, don't do threads because I don't know why.
Yeah, well, that's exactly, and like the amount of time that it must take him to build these threads with this much information in it. Like I respect it. I 100% respect it. I couldn't do it. I can't do threads. I like, my thread is like the biggest thread I do is like 2 posts. That's it. And it's because I ran out of space.
It counts as a thread, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's only because I ran out of space on my first post.
Yeah, and by the way, a little bit self-promotion. Prathcom has been on my YouTube channel, so I have his interview. If you want to check that. Yeah. This is another Pratham Prasun. He also has been on my YouTube channel.
Pratham, yeah.
Yeah. We have these very important questions. Then let's see, because we're already over 1 hour. But for you, Jack, I would say I think 4 or 5 hours. I don't know. I would love to go. I would love to watch the sunset on the seaside maybe today. But let's stay 10 more minutes if you can. How do you deal with hate and mean replies? So
hate and mean replies? I don't. I don't deal with them, and it's funny because internally, I use them. I love them. I like that kind of drives the whole like I hate Jack Forge, the whole I hate Jack Forge thing. I love them because I use them as fuel. If people are mad at you, if people don't like you, you're at a point where they notice you. Like if they're replying on your stuff, if they're quote tweeting your stuff, like it's just raising your engagement. Just own it. And you know what? Exactly. I've noticed the more I own it, the less I get, because they know I love it. Like it's like this blood in the water analogy. As soon as they know it bothers you, that's when they come at you harder. If they know it doesn't bother you, because these are random people on the internet. Like, who cares?
I don't know why, but it reminds me like bullies on high school, something like that, in some ways.
And that's what it is. It's there's groups of people online that they kind of like group up together and get mad at people. That's their thing. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Just don't engage. Just laugh at them. Laugh at them, block them, mute them. They don't exist.
I think, because I got some of them, not much, but I got the first rule for me is that I also say this to myself when that happens, is I never take it personally. I think like, maybe they got a bad day, maybe they're doing this for fun, but but never take it personally, because once you get it personally, you start replying and you get basically, you're done basically.
Yeah.
So this happened to me already a couple of times.
It's funny because like I get people who work for big companies that like get mad and try arguing with me online, and not argue with people online. Like I know your Twitter account shouldn't be judged like, you don't represent your employer, but you represent yourself. And it's like if you're arguing with people online, you just look pathetic. Like that's all I can say.
Yeah. But I have one, and sometimes even they are not like that in real life. I have one very calm friend in real life, but when he's on Facebook, he's like super raging with everyone commenting, hating. I can't recognize him. When he talks with face to face, he says, "Oh, I have argued like that, but super calm." So some people, they take the social media, they are not like the same person. It's like a different person online.
Yes,
So,
and honestly, it's funny because like it's on the opposite end here. It's sometimes, honestly, some people engage with that hate. They love being mad at everything all the time, and it ends up, they get mad at something and it ends up getting them more followers, so they double down on it. But a saying I always use is that negativity always has an expiry date online. People will always get tired of you being negative.
yeah,
they always will. And people realize like, this person's too negative, I don't want to engage with them.
Yeah. And another thing that I also always say is that, okay, you post some hating comment, some people, they agree with you in that case, but what kind of following are you building up?
Oh,
are you building up a bunch of haters, basically? Which
Yeah.
probably, and after a while, as you said, probably one day, I don't know, they will hit you or something like that.
And that's the thing, like some people get pulled into this because everyone wants to be part of a community. If you're a part of a community by agreeing with somebody being negative, then you're obviously you're gonna support those people that are being negative. But at some point, that person's gonna realize, you know what, this is like, I don't want this negativity in my life anymore, and they're gonna fall off. Build a community that you know is positive and makes you feel good about yourself, maybe makes you laugh. Like, you don't have to agree with everything I say, and I don't want all my followers to agree with all my jokes and stuff like that. And like, that's the thing, like, you don't have to agree with everything I say. I just want you to, if you follow me because it makes you feel good about yourself. If I say anything that makes you feel bad about yourself or makes you feel bad, don't follow me. Mute me, block me, because like, I don't want to have a negative effect on people. But the nice thing is people have that choice. You can curate your Twitter account however you'd like.
Exactly. Thank you, Jack. Last super important question: what shampoo do you use? But we have already the reply, which is wet clothes.
Nah, I don't wash my hair. You know that.
Okay. Perfect. Jack, this has been really an incredible episode, a delicious episode. Please check.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I'll give you one. Hold on, I'll give you one here. Delicious. There we go.
Perfect. Yeah, hearing that in person, it's a total different taste. Perfect. Yeah. So, Jack, please, let's keep in touch on Twitter. Follow him everywhere. I have a link on Twitter and also on his site. So, I'm for today, I'm okay. Probably will make a session 2 one day. I would love to do that. I've never done a session 2 without perfetto, which is perfect in Italian. Jack, would you like to say something before we close?
Just thank you to everyone that follows me, all new followers, past followers. I love all you guys. Thank you for having me. This has been really fun. I enjoyed this. It's nice to kind of get some stuff off my chest, you know.
Perfect. Perfect. It's a great way for me to know you a little bit better. So I really wanted this. Perfect.
Thank you. I've had fun.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Bye. Please stay with me.